All right, let's talk about something every renter in Florida has to do. A final step that seems so small, but can actually cost you your entire security deposit. Yep, we're talking about how you return your keys. And look, that is not an exaggeration. This quote, it comes from a tenant attorney with 25 years of experience in the trenches. It just goes to show how this tiny, often overlooked action can have huge financial consequences. Why? Because it marks the exact moment your tenancy officially ends, or, more importantly, when it doesn't. And this brings us to what I call the key return trap. You see, in the eyes of the law, you haven't really moved out just because your stuff is gone. Legally, you are still in possession of that property until your landlord has officially, verifiably received those keys back. Just dropping them off in a box and hoping for the best? That's not going to cut it. And here's why that little detail matters so much. Florida law puts your landlord on a pretty strict clock. They've got 15 days to return your deposit, or 30 days to send you a written claim telling you why they're keeping some of it. But, and this is the kicker, that clock doesn't start ticking until you have legally surrendered the property. Your goal is to get that clock started the very second you walk out that door for the last time. This is where we need to talk about the legal term surrender. It's not about when you leave. It's about the exact date the landlord acknowledges they have the keys back in their hand. If you don't have proof of that specific date, a shady landlord can just claim you never surrendered the property at all, leaving you on the hook for more rent. So let's walk through a super common and super costly nightmare scenario. This is exactly what happens when it becomes your word against your landlord's. And let me tell you, without proof, the tenant almost always loses. Okay, so picture this. It's the very last day of your lease. The apartment is clean, the truck is gone, and you rush over to the management office. Of course, it's closed. But hey, there's a drop box. So you toss the keys in at 4:58 p.m., breathe a huge sigh of relief, and you're done. You did what you were supposed to do, right? You're getting settled in your new place, feeling good. Then, about a week later, an official-looking envelope shows up from your old landlord. You think, great, my security deposit. But it feels a little too thin to have a check inside. You open it, and your stomach just drops. It's not a check, it's a bill. The letter claims that since they have no record of you returning the keys on time, they are charging you for an entire extra month of rent, plus the cost to rekey all the locks. And just like that, poof, your whole deposit is gone, and you might even owe them money. And please, don't think this is some rare, made-up story. It's not. Based on data from one law firm, disputes just like this, all over key returns, make up 12% of their landlord-tenant cases in Orange County alone. You really can't afford to become a statistic. But okay, don't worry, because you are not powerless here, not even close. It's time to stop talking about the problem and start talking about the solution. So here it is, your 3-step battle plan to create undeniable, ironclad proof that you did everything right. Your entire strategy, everything we're about to talk about, boils down to this one simple principle. In any dispute, the person with the best proof wins, period. Your job is to make sure that person is always you. We've got 3 main strategies in our playbook, and each one is designed for a different situation. First up is the gold standard, the face-to-face handover. Second, your legal ace in the hole, the certified mail strategy. And third, your modern, high-tech defense, creating your own video evidence. All right, so if you can possibly do a face-to-face handover, that is your absolute best bet, but you have to do it right. Hand the keys directly to an actual employee, and here's the most important part. Do not leave without a signed and dated receipt. Then you're going to create even more proof by sending a quick follow-up email and maybe even snapping a quick photo of the handover. Overkill? No way. But what if you can't get a meeting? This is where our second strategy comes in, and a real case study shows just how powerful it is. A tenant named Debbie was in this exact spot. Her landlord was just flat out refusing to acknowledge that she'd ever dropped off the keys. But here's the thing, DB had used certified mail with return receipt. And that little green card that came back to her in the mail with her landlord's signature on it, that was her smoking gun. Her lawyer sent a copy of it to the landlord, and, get this, within 14 days, DB had her full $2,500 deposit back. No court, no lawsuit, just that powerful little piece of proof. Now, for our third strategy. If you absolutely have to use a Dropbox, you need to become a filmmaker. Pull out your phone and record a single continuous video. Don't stop recording. Start by walking up to the box. Clearly state your name, the address, the date, and the time. Hold the keys right up to the camera, then film them going all the way into the slot. That continuous shot is your airtight defense against any claims you faked it. Okay, but let's talk about that awkward moment. What happens when you ask for a receipt and the person behind the desk just shrugs and says, we don't do that? First, do not panic. You have fail-safe options. If they refuse to give you a signed receipt, you pivot. Immediately. Do not just leave the keys there. Instead, you politely inform them, okay, no problem. I'll just be sending them via certified mail to create a legal record. Or, if you have to leave them, you say, since you can't provide a receipt, I'm just going to record a time-stamped video of the drop-off from my records. You are taking back control. So as we wrap all this up, the message really couldn't be any clearer. The date you return your keys is the day you are officially off the hook for that property. You just can't leave something that important up to chance or a forgetful employee. Your proof is your only protection. So just remember this simple mantra from the attorneys who deal with this stuff every single day. Demand a receipt. If you can't get one, keep your tracking number. Do whatever it takes to protect your deposit. So that really just leaves one final question for you to think about. The next time you've moved out, you're standing there with the keys in your hand, is the proof you're about to create powerful enough to protect your money? Because now you know exactly how to make sure the answer is yes.